Hey guys, I'm Morthadon and we are back for Black Clover episode 124. So, last time we had the kind of recap episode a bit, just Sekre thinking back on everything that's transpired since the start of everything that we just saw. So, I did notice that the last episode was called Part 1, I believe, and this one's called Part 2, but we kind of saw pretty much everything. So, I'm hoping that this Part 2, assuming it is a part 2 and I'm not mistaken, um, will not be a recap like the other one. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what this one is about, and I really want to see kind of the Black Bull's dynamic with Sekre involved, because she kind of just got like pulled into this group of misfits, and I want to see her kind of find her place. So, anyways, let's get started, shall we? All right, guys, we're gonna start here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, now. All right, so we still have this going on. They changed up the visuals, but I have a feeling this one might stay. We'll see. We're still transitioning into new arcs and stuff. I was curious if once this is all over, if we wouldn't see this anymore. That thing looks so janky. Huh. Yep. Oh no. Are we gonna recap how much she watched them? Damn. Going through the seasons. Such an expression on the face. This is when he got beat up for, you know. It might be fun to recap some of this stuff if we're gonna recap from the beginning of the show to now, if that's what we're gonna be doing. That might be kind of nice because it's been a long time for me since I've seen some of this beginning stuff. I like how Asta has always had the confidence, and it even seems like kind of had to grow into the confidence that he now has. So she was around at that point. Damn. Opening time. So, I don't know how much you guys have really noticed. It's not something that's easily noticeable, but I mean, it kind of is. But it's something that I am very subconscious about. I finally got my dentist appointment today. To get a cleaning of my teeth looked at, because if you've noticed in the last like 3 months of videos between my two front teeth, there's a black mark, and then there's actually another one right above it. I have several cavities that need to be cleared up, and one of them is between my two front teeth. I was wondering if it was a stain or a cavity, were my two thoughts, but it was confirmed today that it is a cavity. So in a few weeks I'll be having that worked on. Na 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 na. Narrow Reminiscences Part 2. Yes, very much so. Whoa. Whose perspective is this? Oh. It's Patri's. In my ears, they're not pointy. Interesting. Thinking it was Lick that did it, and that's the start of it all, you know? Pretty cool seeing his perspective in all this, you know? Because we, like, briefly saw when he, like, awoke in Lick's body, but I don't think we've seen this much of it. Well, I know it's not Lick's body, but in a body that looks like Lick, I should say. Well, and so it began. Creepy smile. Hope. In the form of this grimoire. The sword emerges. Faith, hope, and love. Within the fourth is luck, right? Or something? Yep, good luck. And then in the fifth is a devil. Yes. I remember this. Oh, that too. Oh. That fight was so good. I sped through that. Interesting. I kind of thought they'd spend more time getting up to this point. Has it? Alright. Knowing this was a part 2, I expected this, but I kind of hoped we got to recap a little bit more on kind of Asta growing up and the perspective that Sakurai had on that, but I mean, we got to see a few minutes of that. A devil. I wonder what his complete body looks like. Like, does it, like, just look like that, but a little more, like, solid, maybe? I don't know. Or does he look like even more crazy? I guess it not being complete also opens up the possibility of them looking, like, vastly different in the future and being like, oh, this is a complete one, you know? Poor Patchery, just being used the whole time. Was it, though? Wow. Drive him to madness, create another grimoire. Unfortunately, this is the price I pay for not not wanting to get spoiled, but also not having anyone to tell me about episodes like these last two. Thing is there's a couple little things in these that are kind of cool to see, but I just don't think it's really reaction worthy, you know, because I just have nothing to say. This is all just stuff we literally just got done seeing, you know. I feel like I'd be happy to watch these like on my own though, just to see it, some of the little parts. Huh? Finral just one thing after another, so confused. Yes. uh. Stop, stop. Hold back. Oh, yummy. So badass. Just cuts through everything on its way. Get fucked. Ugh. It's fun seeing this part again. It's a cool fight. You said the words. The words that will fire him up anytime. Big weapon. I like that reflection of the demon that's, or the devil that's within Asa's grimoire as well. Get fucked. Bye-bye, evil heart. Bakana! 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 Oh, I can't wait to learn more about this devil. See you later, loser. Or see you, loser. So good. The boys did good. And then for it, he went on trial. Yeah. And he crumbles. Yeah. All the cook sheep chefs. Cool. Alright. Obviously, just another recap episode, but now the recap episodes should be done, and now we should be getting into different things. I don't know if it's gonna be new stuff. I mean, imagine it's gonna be new stuff. I don't know if it's gonna be like a new arc entirely, you know, or if it's gonna be kind of like more slice of lifey episodes for a few before we really get into an arc, you know, because you kind of got to get from like where our characters left off to the next arc, and usually that takes, you know, some slower episodes, but I'm excited to be past this anyway. Yeah, I wish I knew. I mean, I kind of knew that this one was because the last one was called Part 1, so I had a feeling, but you never know. And I haven't had anyone to tell me whether these are recap episodes that I should skip or not, so if someone would have told me beforehand, I probably would have just skipped them and maybe watched them on my own, but I'm a smaller channel. I don't always have people that tell me that. I have some people that tell me that kind of stuff for other shows, but not for this one. Anyway, that is it, guys, for episode 124. So, yeah, once again, this is going to be another short discussion just based off the fact of the matter is, you know, it was a recap episode, but I did very much like the beginning. I kind of mentioned it in the reaction, but I'll mention it again here, where we had, I think we've seen that scene before. I wonder if we got anything new there, because like my memory's not good enough to remember how much we got, you know? But with Asta kind of cheering Yuno up, now that we kind of know more about Yuno, like I know we've seen that scene throughout the show a couple times, but now that we kind of know more about Yuno, it's really interesting the fact that like Yuno seems to be the one that is like always confident, you know? But if you think about it, based off that scene, Asta's really the one that's always been confident, you know, and I think Asta's confidence helped Yuno discover his own confidence. So it's a pretty cool little dynamic between the friends, you know, with Yuno probably being more talented, you know, because for one, he's always been talented with magic and everything, and he's had magic since, you know, I mean, whenever it develops in people, you know, like, because pretty much everyone in this world has magic. Whether they get a grimoire and, you know, fight with it is another story, but pretty much everyone in the world has it to some extent. So, you know, he could have been, even at that age that we saw him this episode, he could have had magic and was able to practice with it. But Asta didn't have anything until he suddenly did, you know? And so he's missing like a solid probably like 7 or 8 years of like just kind of living with this ability. Like Yuna had. We saw him like drying clothes with his wind and stuff like that. So he had a feel for how to use his powers before he even got his grimoire and everything, you know. So, but yeah. So he has obviously a bit more skill, I'd say. I'm gonna sneeze. Crap. Oh, excuse me. Obviously a bit more skill than Asta, I'd say, in general. Obviously, Asta kind of comes through with his anti-magic. Oh my god, everything, sneezing, yawning, what the hell? But obviously he comes through with his anti-magic and kind of saves the day and is essentially like the, you know, the protagonist that wins a lot of these fights. But I do think that his anti-magic kind of carries him sometimes. I do think he's very talented, but I do think that Yuno is a bit more talented, you know? And they've expressed that in the show. Like, the show has even made mention of that, where, you know, Asta got knocked out of that one, like, the Royal Knight selection and everything, and Yuno was one of the ones that pushed forward and gave a really good display with that massive laser beam and everything during that fight, you know? So it's kind of just one of those things where the show has acknowledged it, but it's kind of cool how Asta is like slowly playing that catch-up game, and I think we're going to get to the point where he is a contender for, you know, being stronger than Yuno. Like, it'll probably, for a while, I think we're gonna reach a point where it's like, oh, they're pretty much equal. Like, they're both very much skilled, but Asta just needs to get a better control on this black form, which he started to do in the last fight. So, yeah. But yeah, it was just really cool seeing how Yuno was the one that wasn't confident and was like, oh, can we win? Yada, yada, yada. Like, I don't, like, or I guess not win, but just after Asta got beat up, he was the one kind of consoling Yuno and everything with the whole, like, we'll become Wizard King, you know, or I'll become Wizard King, and you could too, and everything. So it was a lot of fun. But there were a couple other things, like, we got a little bit more of Patri's perspective, I feel like. Maybe we've seen those scenes in, like, bits and pieces and everything, but seeing him, like, I know we've seen him wake up and look in the mirror and realize he looks like Licht, and I think we might have seen him, like, open the shutters and see all the lights and everything, because I recall seeing that. But I don't remember, like, seeing him kind of storm off and a little bit of the inner dialogue and everything. I felt like there might have been a few little, like, tidbits there. Seeing those perspectives and a little bit of Sakurai's perspective throughout the whole episode of like the different things that she saw is very interesting too. Like how she was around at the time when Asta got beat up and saw that, and she was around at the time where he manifested the grimoire, obviously because she's looking out for it, so she might have like sensed it appearing and came, you know, or maybe she just happened to already be there. But it was just really cool seeing her different perspectives of like how much she's seen, because I'm really curious about how much she really watched over these kids. Like from the time that Asta got that grimoire, I'm guessing that's around the time when Nero started following and like landing on Asta's head and stuff like that. So um I'm curious. Like I'm guessing, and from there on, I'm guessing she watched like the whole time because she has to be that guardian that makes sure that this thing doesn't destroy humanity and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I enjoyed bits and pieces of it. There were other parts where I just kind of my mind kind of wandered. I started thinking about other stuff and everything, um and I'm sure my reaction to it was a little boring for you guys, so I apologize for that, because there just wasn't much to say when you're watching something that you literally just watched a few episodes ago, you know. But yeah, hopefully you did enjoy this for what it was, if you even watched it, you know. You guys get the opportunity of, you know, going into this knowing that this is a recap episode and being able to just skip it. So I'm sure the few of you that do watch this content from me will probably just end up skipping this one. But if you did happen to watch, thank you so much. But that's going to be it from me. Hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed. Check out my Patreon if you want to see more from me. The next 2 episodes are up on there, so if you want to check out some actual new content rather than recaps, you can check that out on my Patreon. Very much appreciate it. And I will see you guys in my future reactions. Bye-bye.